What is up, everybody? It's Timberverse here today. So we're gonna talk about this Sony fanboy who just had to put his foot into a conversation the guy was having about the 360 and his launch day. So apparently this guy was saying, hey, the Xbox 360 launched on this day in 2005 with a console. Pretty much gave him praise for that console. Then you had a Sony fanboy chime in. Let me see if I can zoom in. It says, the worst selling console of that generation. Then you can see that his profile pic has he's a huge PlayStation fan, which is a lot of profile pic. And so this whole thread is just roasting this guy because it's just amazing how these Sony fanboys just find anything related to Xbox and just trash it. It's like, how do you even find this post to begin with? It's like, wow. Then he says, so you're not allowed to enjoy gaming, apparently. Apparently you can't because these guys... I'm starting to legit think these Sony fanboys just legit just play Twitter all day. They just literally be on Twitter all day to find these Xbox related posts because it's like, how do you even find this to begin with? It's just funny. Then he says, he's not too bright. The Xbox 360, also the PS3 of the entire generation. PS3 finally passed the 360 at the end or after the Xbox One released. Yeah, the PS3 was getting his butt kicked by 360 for a good while of that generation. It's funny how the Sony fanboys, they love to mention the Xbox One generation, but they rarely mention that 360 generation because they knew it was definitely some competition during that generation. Sony went from number 1 spot, PS2, down to number 3 spot with the PS3. Nintendo went from number 3, Nintendo GameCube, straight to number 1 spot with the Nintendo Wii. Microsoft stayed strong off the number 2 spot all generation with Xbox 360. PS3 was literally last place until a little 3 months till next gen started. LOL, that's 3 months of gloating compared to Xbox fans, nearly 8 years. November 2005 to late summer 2013. Yeah, the Sony guys was having that was a rough generation for the Sony guys because they definitely, the 360 was the hotness during that generation, so that was a time to be around because yeah, people were going crazy about Xbox 360. That's definitely a generation right there. Remember how the PS3 was selling so bad in the US and Jack Trina actually claimed if you can find a PS3 in store shelves for me, then 10 minutes I'll give you $1,200 for it. I'm still waiting for my $200, Jack. I usually mute trolls, not giving them any attention. In my opinion, it's the best thing I can do. These trolls just seek attention. When they don't receive the attention, they move on to another account. Common profile pictures for Twitter trolls. The Last of Us Part 2 with Ellie, God of War Kratos, Spider-Man, and Uncharted. Wow. So pretty much you got one of these profile pictures, you're pretty much instantly considered a troll by all these people. People who say the Xbox 360 came in last that gen are goofy. That's one take I won't even tolerate. To be frank, it's so the least. Not saying it was anything other than an excellent console though. Just block the trolls and move on. Sales numbers aren't important. Sega Saturn is one of my most favorite consoles of all time, but it didn't sell very well. Those people are dumb for putting value in it. Yep, and also Sony was in a negative for 4 years doing parts of the PS3. Xbox made more in the first quarter, being the entirety of Sony for 5 years. Yeah. Unfortunately, they just can't help themselves. You know, they love them sales numbers. What's funny, though, it took 8 years for the PS3 to catch up, and that was only because it got discounted so many times they basically gave it away. Yeah. That was a rough generation for the PS3. Xbox was definitely handing it to them that generation. Two things, the 360, also the PS3, the entire generation, was only surpassed after it was long done with. The 360 was the console to own and the best gaming console on the market, hands down. The PS3 era has gamers still suffering from the decision to use the cell processor. The worst selling is OG Xbox, given how 360 was very close in numbers to beating PS3 in the end. It is Xbox's best console right now. The generation is over, so we don't know how close those numbers will be. Xbox is doing very well today. Just block them, then they just want to argue it's hilarious because of all your posts are positive. They just can't let you enjoy Xbox. It triggers them. And it's kind of sad too. How does somebody post positive Xbox stuff just draw these people in just to be some trolls? That's just shocking. People are still comparing old, outdated 360 sales numbers to outdated PS3 numbers, and the PS3 is barely ahead of 360. It's barely ahead, so 360 likely sold more. Also, Sony padded the PS3 sales heavily by advertising as a very cheap Blu-ray player, just like they did with the PS2 DVD player. In other words, a lot of these consoles have never been used for gaming at all. PS3 only beat the 360 at the very end of that generation, and yes, technically the Wii beat both of them, but no one even talks about the Wii anymore. Yeah, the Wii beat them both, but it was like the people who mainly bought the Wii was buying it for like that Wii Fitness, Wii Fitness and Wii Bowling. It's like, I don't think too many hardcore people was buying a Wii like that. What it called at the end of the generation, it was a couple of years into Xbox One and PS4. You can get PS3s new for like $150. Pretty sure haters who just go around posting negative stuff like that don't enjoy anything, lol. The 360 was stupidly good. Everybody and their dog had one. What the hell is that kid smoking? Also, people with those icons, instant block usually is always trouble. The 360 revolutionized online console gaming. The PlayStation wouldn't be what it is today if it was for the Xbox 360. Sad people who don't have any good games to play in the holidays, they have to lash out somehow. Pretty much sums of every PlayStation fanboy I've ever encountered. Let's see. Funny thing is that Xbox made more money that generation on game sales than anybody, lol. Third-party games alone, they crushed it. The best console of that generation and one of the best of all time. Yeah, 360 is definitely one of the best consoles of all time, by far. Your positivity sure brings out the haters. That profile picture tells it all. Yeah, definitely total out with that profile picture they chose. What the F? The 360 is the GOAT in my opinion. Superfluous comments, you have to love them. LOL, it's really hard for people to love two things at once, so they have to choose regardless. If it's a facts or not, apparently opinions are more important than actual facts these days. You can't have fun unless it's my way. Xbox 360 was a great console, even though the hardware had a few issues because the low price PS3 had a very bad launch, but they learned from their mistake. Someone should tell him how that worst selling console of the generation cut Sony's market share from 155 million to 88 million, and that console sold 86 million. We won that generation. The 360 dominated PS3 in that generation. Multi-platform games sold 3 to 5 more on 360 than PS3. Gee, it's a lot more. Sony managed to catch up in console sales right at the end of that generation. Nintendo Wii was incredibly successful. Amazing games in that era. Yeah. A lot of the best games come from the 360 generation, to be honest. Like the Batman Arkham series starting generation, Bioshock series, the Mass Effect series. A lot of great classics came from that generation. There is only darkness where his heart should be. I laugh at people care more about sales than gaming. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of true because the Wii sold the most, and it's kind of like you couldn't pay me to play the Wii, to be honest. There were like a few games that was good on the Wii, but the vast majority of the Wii games was like just I was not interested in the Wii whatsoever during that generation, even though it sold the most technically. You aren't allowed to enjoy gaming unless it's on a Sony console, according to that Sony Fanboy. I am unhappy, so you must be unhappy too, and that is my mission. That guy may have been the worst selling, but I preferred it over my PS3 every day. Jealous gamers will never be content. The 360 was the best console I have ever owned, and I had quite a few. Best console ever? Always one twat. So he's just getting roasted in this comment section. How about online console gaming wouldn't be what it was without it? And he's smacking away negativity, anxiety, and drama. Okay. Hate. For people to hate other console, why do they care how good or bad one they didn't choose does? I love gaming. I don't care what anybody else says. Highest selling software of the generation, though. The Xbox 360 was groundbreaking for showing the game industry how to do an online service right on a console. It may not have been the first time it was done, but the 360 did it right. Everyone else followed their lead. Where do you think Sony got trophies? Sony got trophies from? They definitely copied Xbox achievement system. Personal preferences do not exist anymore. Literally 80% of PlayStation players now play Xbox 360 back then. Xbox 360 was in fact the greatest console ever. Sorry. Console wars? Old men are doing this. Absurd to say the least. Let's just enjoy our hobby. Ridiculous, I might add. So you're not allowed to say things online, even when you're not rude, apparently. Another day, another glue sniffing F-boy. Yet more for the block list. You say you sniff glue. I've heard that insult since like elementary school. Elementary school, saying somebody sniff glue. Okay. People are just S. I can't imagine how pitiful your life has to be to just go around and post negativity on literally every post you see. Like, bro, go breathe some fresh air. Fanboy ideology right there. Let them stay delusional. What is this comment? He's upset his dad beats him every day? What? The Naughty Dog apologist wants to talk. Should be more concerned about your favorite company ruining a story. Unless they're some kind of creator, if they're not using their real picture, they get blocked. I just can't argue with a cartoon or anime character. What a weirdo and a bozo. No clue what he is saying. Tell that dumbass be so what? Idiots get so angry at someone else having fun. So pathetic. Yeah, so this guy got roasted fully in this comment section. It's like, how are you gonna trash talk this Xbox 360? That is legit like one of the best consoles of all time, but this is apparently there's some people out there. Well, I'm gonna conclude it right here. This is just hilarious how this Sony fanboy, once again, let me show you, this guy got roasted. And you can tell he's a Sony fanboy because he clearly has all the Sony mascots in his profile pic. So when you see all the Sony mascots in Sony profile pic, that's a clear sign that they're probably a Sony fanboy. So definitely see your thoughts down below about this one. Leave a like if you like this video. And as always, thanks for watching and peace.